Hi, it's time for another math easy solution. Time to discuss further into conic sections and now look at further into ellipses and go over example 2 of the example series. So make sure to watch my earlier videos to get caught up. And now the example I'm going to go over is this one states, find an equation of the ellipse with foci. Remember that's plural for focus, or plural of focus, and that foci is 0 plus or minus 2, and the vertices are 0 plus or minus 3. So if we want to find this equation, first thing we're going to notice is that foci and vertices are, well, on the y-axis. Yeah, these are on y-axis. This means that this is a major axis right here. So we're at major axis, and because it's a major axis, this ends up meaning we have a vertical vertical ellipse, or possibly a circle, depends on what the minor axis is. So this means we'll have to recall the formula that I made in my earlier video for vertical ellipse, where we have x squared over b squared instead of a squared. A squared is going to be under the y right here, y squared over a squared, like that, equals to 1, where a is greater than or equal to b, and this is greater than 0. If the a and b are equal, then what we end up having is a circle. And also recall that by definition we let b squared equals to a squared minus c squared, like. And also recall that the foci, so we have the foci right here. This is basically at 0 plus or minus c. And then in our case we have, well, plus or minus 2. So we have 0 plus or minus 2. So this means that the c is equal to this 2. So c equals to 2, like that. And then what we have is the vertices here. Vertices, recall that these are basically 0 plus or minus a, where in this case we have the vertices 0 plus or minus 3. So we have 0 plus or minus 3, so that means a is equal to 3. So a equals to 3, like that. Yeah, so now if we want to get this b over there, we could throw that inside, so we get, well, I'll just put that over here, b squared equals 2 squared, actually put the a first, so 3 squared minus c, which is c squared, which is 2 squared, equals to 9 minus 4 equals to 5. Yeah, so if it's equal to 5 right there, we have, well, b squared equals to 5. I'll just circle this. Well, that means we can solve this equation. So then that means our equation is simply x squared over a squared, which is 3 right there, 3 squared. I'll just put this as 3 squared plus, actually no, that's the other way around. This is b squared. So that means this is 5 plus y squared over a squared, which is right here, 3 squared, and yeah, so we have, put this in a bubble, a squared equals to 9, not 3 squared, like that. You could throw that inside, and then we have 9 equals to 1. So this is our equation, actually. There's our ellipse right there. Or we could simplify it by multiplying both sides by 9 times 5. So we have, get rid of the denominators. So we have 9 times 5 over this x squared over 5 plus y squared over 9 equals to, on this side, 9 times 5. So do that both sides. 9 times 5, not 0.5, like that. So that the 9's cancel with this one, and we end up with a 5 there. This 5 cancels, we put a 9. So we get a 9x squared plus 5y squared equals to 9 times 5 is just, well, 45, like that. And if you were to graph this out, how it would look like, well, this is the major axis there. This is y, x. So the vertices are at this 3 right there, and at, let's extend this past, negative 3. Then we have it at 2, and then negative 2, And now the minor axis is where the b is located, and since b squared equals to 5, we have, well, b equals to plus or minus square root 5, like that. Yeah, I'll just circle this one right here. Now square root 5, yeah, square root 5 is, well, less than 3, because 3 squared is going to be, yeah, i.e. 3 squared equals to 9, versus square root 5 squared is just 5. Like that, 9 is greater than 5 here. And the reason we're doing that is just so that we know that what kind of shape is that. So that's going to be, well, in between 2 and 3, because 2 squared is 4, and then 3 squared is 9, so somewhere there. So it should be something like this. If this is square root 5, and then this is, on the other side, negative square root 5, like that. And then we could, I'll just move this over, actually, over here, because then we'll draw it, square root 5, like that. Oops. And then let's start drawing it. Looks something like this. So yeah, it looks something like that. Remember, this is the origin right here. This is the major axis, like that. That's why it's a vertical one. It's on the y-axis there. And then the minor axis, I'll put it over here. Minor axis is the smaller one, so minor axis. And also recall that you could see that, well, this is a, you could use Pythagoras right here. So this distance is square root 5, this distance is 2. This means at this point right there, well, this must be 3, because as you could see, you'll have 2 squared plus square root 5 squared equals to 4 plus 5 equals to 9, and that's the same thing as writing 3 squared, like that. Yeah, so this is this is just Pythagoras, as well as from our definition. So this is Pythagoras right there. And as well, this is just a squared equals to b squared plus c squared from the definition right here. So anyways, that's all for today. If you follow along, just want to go through this in detail, showing how to spot if it's vertical or horizontal or a circle type of ellipse. Because remember, a circle is still an ellipse. And a circle is when the a equals to b, and a vertical ellipse when this side under b is under y is greater than the one over here. Horizontal one is going to be the other way around. This one will be the A, that'll be the B. Anyways, that's all for today. If you learn, like always, you can download these exact ones in the link below, as well as viewing these in article format on Steemit. So follow me there. I'll upload this shortly after I upload this video. Anyways, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another Math Easy solution.